Late Night Health continues. Daryl Wayne sitting in for Mark Alyn, who is at a convention this week. He'll report back next week and let us know what he was up to or whether he was just playing hooky. The line of questioning will prove out where Mark Alyn was. As a matter of fact, I'm sure he'll be happy to share. We've got Dr. Paul Corona on with us from Laguna Niguel, California. He is the author of Healing the Mind and Body, the trilogy, book set available pretty much wherever books are sold, Amazon and websites, and you can find it on our website. Kevin Stern says he's going to post it on Facebook again. And Paul, are they available in, book? Are there bookstores left?
But hardly any, but they're also available on my website and of course in my office.
And that's Dr. Paul D. Corona, MD.com.
Dr. Paul, no D. So Dr. Paul Corona, MD.com.
I was close.
Close.
Yeah. Dr. Paul Corona, MD.com. You can get the books there. And as with most creative processes, were those years in the creating, or did you just sit down one day and start writing and didn't stop until you were done?
Those 3 books took me 12 years and 1,100 pages total. But yeah, it took me about 12 years to finish those. So a lot of time and energy.
Were you researching as you went along, or was technology changing as you went along, so you were scrapping stuff in the process, or?
Constantly updating. Well, my research is basically my practice and just the way I do things and how I've learned things. And yeah, I constantly was editing and re-editing and updating, and that was part of the whole process.
Now you started out
over.
You started out just being a general practice sort of family MD, right?
Right. I started as a family doctor, but I got fascinated with what we're talking about today, the brain body. I started understanding how stress and mood affected the body in so many physical ways, and I was seeing that in my primary care practice. And then when new medications came out that addressed the physical and the emotional, it fascinated me. And so about 2000 or so is when I transitioned my practice over and pretty much went full-time into psychiatry. But it really had to do with the understanding. Being a family doctor is really how I learned this, because if I were started in psychiatry, I don't think I would have learned what I needed to learn in order to write these books.
So with the psychiatry involved, did you go back and did your practice develop to the point that all of your patients going forward were mostly adults, or did you also still see children as patients?
I still see children. A lot of adolescents and adults. The majority of my practice is, probably a lot of teenagers and a lot of people midlife and elderly patients. That's across the board, really. And
how many of the adolescent patients or kids, if you will, in their teens and in their 20s are being taunted by their friends and being called names, like people just calling them wackos and stuff?
Oh, it's common. And it's the bullying and the teasing it's really gotten worse and worse as time's passed. And if you have an emotional problem or you're depressed,
it adds
the taunting.
To it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the bullying and the social media. That's really one of the factors that's led to, I think, an increase in depression and anxiety issues with adolescents, and suicide rates are increased. It's pretty bad.
I mean, if someone comes to you and said, I have these problems and I'm depressed, or they're people are out to get me, or whatever the case may be, and but I'm being attacked by family and friends as being a wacko. What is your advice? How do you? I mean, it just seems like they're going down a tunnel, and people around them are making it worse.
Absolutely, and but this all has to do with history. Because if someone has an acute stressful situation, that's different than something that's more chronic and ongoing.
We're talking to Dr. Paul Corona. It is drpaulcoronamd.com. He has a book, Healing the Mind and the Body. It is a trilogy, 12 years in the making. It is Late Night Health. You can go to our guest tab under Paul Corona and link directly to his website and his book. Paul, thank you very much for spending some time with us.
Thank you, Daryl. Appreciate it.
Talk to you again next week right
then.
here on this very radio program. If you don't get the second hour of Late Night Health, jump on our website. It is latenighthealth.com. Second hour coming up next.